All right. Welcome to our first ever athlete interview with Courtney Hottovy. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
She is one of my best friends from college. We met at Augustana University running cross country and track. So 3 sport athletes. She is now a nurse in Texas and lives with her bunny.
Yes, I do.
All right, so we're going to start it off by, let's talk about your origin story for running. How did you start? Did you start in high school? Did your mom force you to do it? How did it happen?
Well, I played sports when I was little, like from when I was 5 on. Mm-hmm. And I remember in soccer, I was always kind of fast and I could run forever. And so, my 8th grade year, I actually did a season of track, but it was, middle school track, pretty laid back. I was decent,
Most middle athletes are.
Yes, yeah, it was, it was fine. Well, then, my brother had been doing cross country in high school, so I knew it was a thing, and I went to volleyball camp, because volleyball and cross country were the same season in Nebraska. And I went to volleyball camp and I realized I was not very good. And so I decided to go out for cross country instead of trying out for volleyball. So I did cross country all 4 years of high school, and then I loved it, had a lot of fun. Had a great coach in high school, and he kind of fostered my love for running, but also having a lot of fun with it. we had fun Fridays.
Oh, okay. I feel like those are very common.
Yeah, we had fun Fridays.
Fun sock Friday or something like that.
Yeah, we would have themes. We had 4th of July, or Prep Boy, one of the all boys schools in Omaha. Prep Boy.
That's funny.
Or rainbow. So everybody would dress up in a color of the rainbow. Cool. And then we would probably only run 2 miles that day.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's most fun running days.
Yeah. Or sometimes we just played games. Yeah. And then he would give us these oatmeal cream pies if we won. And it was kind of
that
weird.
Sounds disgusting. I like it.
Yeah, it kind of was. But I mean, that was
Yeah, you wanted it because your coach was giving it up.
So, yeah, that kind of is what started my love for running, and then decided that I wanted to do it in college. And
yeah, how did you decide that? Did somebody tell you about running in college? Did you just hear about it?
Well, I really don't remember. I think I was thinking about playing soccer in college, and I realized at soccer practice it just wasn't as much fun as cross country practice.
Yeah.
I hated doing the drills of standing in line and waiting to make the pass or whatever, And in soccer, I always just liked the running part of it, and so even in high school I did. And so then I told my dad, I don't know what year of high school it was, but I told my dad I think I want to run cross country in college. Oh. And he was like, okay, well then you better keep running during the summers and making sure you're doing all that stuff, and run through the winters too. And so I would I ran on the treadmill and stuff in the winter sometimes, not a lot, but
yeah.
And then I wanted to run at Nebraska, and because I wanted to be a Husker.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense with you being from Nebraska.
Yeah. And I went and visited there and talked to the coach, and I would have had to walk on, and he was not very open to having me. Mm-hmm. He wasn't very nice, and I was also being recruited by Augustana at the time, and Scott was very nice and actually wanted me on the team, and so
that goes a long way for sure.
It does, yeah. So yeah, I just kind of decided Augustana would be a better fit, and plus the nursing program. At Augustana, it was 4 years. I would stay there all 4 years. Yeah. At Nebraska, I would go there for 2 years and then have to transfer to a nursing school, which would probably be in Omaha. Yeah. And so then it was I could only run for cross country for 2 years at Lincoln. So, so yeah, that's how I decided.
All right, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you went to Augustana.
Yes.
How was your experience running at Augustana? How did you do?
Oh.
Great athlete, obviously.
Fantastic. No, it was so much fun. Like, I don't even really remember, like, well, I mean, I do remember, like, the competitions and stuff, and, like, but what I remember is, like, having fun at practice and, like, going to meets and, like, having fun there, and then, like, hanging out with my cross-country friends, like you.
Yeah.
Outside, outside of cross-country and track, and, like, I mean, running was fun, but, like, it was a lot more than that, you know? It
more
wasn't...
the journey and everything, not always the high accolades or the big competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like on our team, I was, like, pretty middle, you know, like, I wasn't, like, I was...
But you were on all of our, like, national teams and everything, so you were definitely,
I was good. But I wasn't,
and it's weird saying that about yourself.
Yeah. But I wasn't, like, amazing, like, winning, like, every race, or, I mean, sometimes I won, like, the first 1K of a race, but...
Great.
But, I mean, I wasn't winning the whole thing, you know? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I was good, but I wasn't, like, outstanding, you know? Good enough.
You were a good athlete.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did well in college. That was successful. And then we had to graduate. Yeah. You had more eligibility. You decided not to use it, mostly because probably your friends were all graduating at that time, going 4 years. And I feel like you did better than most transitioning from college, being a part of running being your whole life, and, like, maybe not, like, I don't want to say your whole life, but that's, like, a huge part of you going to college.
Yeah.
So, how was your transition out of college? Did you struggle at all? Did you struggle a little bit? Like, what, like, held you together?
Well, I was really excited to just start my career.
Yeah.
And so I think that helped me. And so I was excited to, like, I moved to Texas. That was exciting. Yeah. Like, I wanted to be there. And I was really excited about my job. Looking back, I don't know why, but because that was not fun. I was really excited about my job, and so I was ready to move on. Mm-hmm. I think looking back, like, now I'm like, oh, I miss college. That was so fun.
Yeah.
But I also like being an adult and having the responsibility that I have.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think that's so fun, too.
Yeah. So I think I was just ready to move into, like, my next chapter of life.
Yeah.
But with running, after I graduated, I obviously was not running competitively anymore. So I would, like, do little runs here and there. And then, but then I kept getting, like, slower and slower. So, like,
I feel like you're just riding your fitness and, like, I'm trying to maintain. That was the same with me, too,
yeah. But I wasn't afraid to, like, I did a 5K, I think, the next February. Yeah. I think that might have been my first 5K, but I didn't feel like it was a big deal. Like,
yeah, I feel like that's a huge struggle with a lot of people post-college, is, like, comparing themselves and to their last 5K race or something like that.
Right. And I knew at that 5K, like, I didn't feel like I needed to run, like, as fast as I could. Yeah. Like, what was on the line was $300 to Boot Barn. Oh. And I wanted a pair of cowboy boots. So I was like, I have to win this so I can get a free pair of boots.
Yeah. I did. Money wasn't on the line in college.
Yeah. So I did, and I got the boots, but I wasn't, like, I think I ran it in, like, 19 something or, like, 20 something. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, like,
anything crazy.
Yeah. And I just kept looking behind me like, is there another girl back there?
Coming to take my boots?
Yeah. So that was my first, like, race after college, but I wasn't, like, I didn't really train for it. Like, I wasn't, like, upset that I didn't run as fast as I was in college. And then I started CrossFit.
Yes.
I'm
excited to hear about this.
In January so it was January 2020.
Okay.
Because we graduated in 19. So, well, you probably remember when we were on camping trip.
Okay.
March of our senior year of college. And
where did we go?
We went down to New Mexico and then drove up to Colorado.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
And we were listening to a podcast.
Okay.
And they were talking about CrossFit.
Oh.
And
that's when it sparked.
That's when it sparked,
okay.
because then I didn't know about it until then.
Yeah, it's kind of niche.
And then I think Meg was kind of like liked the idea too.
Yeah.
And then so then it was always kind of in the back of my mind, and I always liked lifting in college too. And then with nursing, like we lift some heavy people. Maybe not like totally lift them. I mean, one time.
Yeah, you have to be strong for that.
Yeah, but we're always like moving people, and so I was like, it would not hurt me to be a little bit stronger and to like, you know, make my body strong so that way I don't get hurt at work or, you know, just in regular life lifting different things.
Yeah.
So, I tried out some CrossFit.
Okay, we're back after technical difficulties. CrossFit. So,
CrossFit.
Rewind it. So, how did you get into it? What were we talking about?
So, I was, we were on our trip.
Yeah, on the trip. Okay.
And we heard a podcast about it, and it sounded kind of crazy. It sounded kind of cool. And I wanted to get stronger.
Yeah.
And so, I had looked at a couple CrossFit gyms, I think this summer after we graduated, and I didn't really find one that I loved.
Yeah.
And then I decided with the new year that I was like, I really need to get into something. Like, this running, like, a couple times a week for me.
Yeah.
And
not having that schedule, too.
Yeah. That kind of, it just wasn't for me. So I looked at a couple more CrossFit gyms, and I decided on one that was 1.8 miles from my apartment.
Perfect.
Called CrossFit Optimistic. It was run by this family, and it was a lot of fun. The classes were small. Actually, like, my first, like, few weeks, I was going early in the morning, like 5:30 or something. And I had, like, my own class. There was nobody else in there except for me and the coach. And so, like,
really?
I had, like, personal training for a while.
That's cool.
But then I started going to the noon class. It just worked better with my schedule. And had the same people in my classes all the time, so we kind of, like, built a community, and it was a lot of fun. And then I did that up until just a couple months ago. CrossFit.
Yeah.
So.
And you're not doing it anymore?
Well, right now I'm
taking a break.
Pause. Well, I'm travel nursing, and so it's and work in general really is the reason. And I am training for a marathon. Yeah,
so we go from not doing running to CrossFit, and now all of a sudden the marathon, which is, I feel like a lot of runners from college are like, oh, when should I do a marathon? That's always like the thing, and everyone asks you about it. Like, when are you doing a marathon? Have you done a marathon? So, why did you pick the marathon?
Well, I figured everything's a little easier when you're younger. I was like,
okay, so you're gonna do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I should do one before I'm 30, and then I was working a night shift, and well, I had also been living with our friends Amanda and Bob.
Yep.
And they were training for a marathon, and they run so much, and they're so active. And honestly, when Bob did his marathon, like, it did not look that fun. But
we won't get into all those details about why it did not go well.
But that, I mean, he did great. Yeah. It was just not a great marathon.
Hard. Yeah.
I think it was the marathon.
There was nobody there.
It was just not a good first marathon. But
still, you thought, oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. And so I was on night shift, and I saw an ad on Instagram for the marathon in San Antonio. And I was like, why not just sign up?
So this is at like 3 a.m. when your brain was working the best. And
exactly.
This is a good decision.
That lack of sleep really, really makes me think well. So I signed up for the marathon. I signed Travis up for the 5K.
Yep.
And so I technically started my training last week. Except
you started with an injury.
I started with an injury. I had been, I think, increasing my mileage too quickly and not listening to my body.
Yep.
And
runners at all ages do this.
So stupid.
I know.
So stupid.
Why do we do it?
Come on. But I'm diagnosed by Amanda with plantar fasciitis.
Another nurse.
Yep. And so I've been trying to kind of rehab it a little bit. You know, this past week I worked a bunch of nights in a row and really didn't do anything. So and then I started running again today, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So my marathon training plan will be a little iffy, but that's okay. You know, I've seen people go through worse.
Well, I'm very excited to see how you do. When is that? When is your race?
It's December 4th.
Okay. So you have how many months?
I think it'll be 15 weeks. So I have like 4 months.
Yeah, that's enough time.
I think.
Yeah.
August, September, October, November, December. Wait. I don't. Yeah.
August is almost done. Yeah. So yeah, about 4. Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, it'll be good.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Good. Well, I'm excited to see how you do. Okay. And last question for you. Do you have any advice for any beginner runners, any runners currently, or I should say even people struggling with going from college now trying to figure out what they want to do afterwards?
Well, I think with anything you do, running or like CrossFit or I know skiing or roller skiing, like you just have to have fun with it, you know? And if you're not having fun, then like, and you're not enjoying it, then
why are you doing
what's the point?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, sometimes it's not every run is not fun, you know? And every time I go to CrossFit, it's not always fun, but for the most part, it is.
Good.
So also, like, on your bad days, you have to have some grace for yourself, you know? Like, just know that, like, if you have a horrible run and just you feel like you can't get your stride in, or, like, you just can't lift as heavy of a weight as you've been lifting in the past, like, it's okay, you know? And also, it's, like, real life now. You're not in the college bubble. Yeah. Where, like,
all your meals are cooked for you. You're revolved around when you practice. Yeah.
Yeah, you can so skip school for cross country. Yeah. Like, now, like...
And you work 40-hour a week jobs, so...
Yeah, it's
a lot.
Yeah, it's real life now, so you just have to... I mean, I'm not a professional runner for a reason, so...
Right.
So yeah, everyone should remember that, just to have some grace for yourself.
Good. I like that. Okay, well, thanks for being my first guest.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was so nice
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, tune in next time for our next video.